What's up YouTube, Redbeard's Garage, and welcome back to another video. We got a new go-kart and her name is Skittles for obvious reasons. Now I'm taking this video after this whole entire video was filmed because I accidentally deleted the intro file. So yeah, this is Skittles. I've already taken the motor off and the tires, which you'll see in this video. But I did some work on a Tahoe. I bypassed the Bose factory radio for this go-kart. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get it started. Okay, the sprocket hub that I turned into a rotor hub is done drying, so I bolted that up with some Stover nuts. Now, if you don't know what a Stover nut is, it's an all-metal lock nut. There's no nylon in the end of it. It's basically the end of the nut has been pressed a little bit, so the last thread is kind of oval shaped, so it really bites that bolt and keeps it on there. It's pretty good for eyeballing it. I think I got it centered pretty well. But yeah, I think it looks really good being red with the black on the sprocket, or on the rotor I should say. So now that's ready to be put on, but we haven't I swapped to the red go-kart, so we need to get it inside and start tearing it down. Alright, since I had this go-kart up on the workbench before I take the engine off, I was just checking a few things out, and I noticed this rear tire spins quite a bit before it catches, so hopefully nothing's wrong with the axle. Let's just hope that someone didn't put the right size key or didn't put a key in it at all. So I'm going to pull that nut off, which is a 27mm socket, and going to check out that axle and keep your fingers crossed that it ain't messed up. Okay, I got that wheel pulled off, and as you can see, someone welded the back like hub. This takes a little axle hub, which is really nice, but it is not keyed whatsoever on this side. So if we flip it around, it looks like someone welded something to kind of act like a key. Not really sure what they was trying to do there, and they might have been welded. It might have been welded to this piece of pipe right here. Now, for you that don't know, this pipe just keeps the wheel distance from this bearing to where you want your actual wheel to set. So I'm going to try to pull this off. It's probably going to be hard, so I'm going to pull this off, and we're going to have to find some different wheels for sure. I don't want to buy these hubs. These hubs are actually like $40, I think, to $60 a set for these 1-inch wheel hubs. I'm going to see if I can clean this up and see what the deal is with it, but most likely we'll either find some wheels that'll just slide on that 1-inch shaft that has a keyway in the wheels, or we got to figure out something. So we'll get that other one pulled off and see what the deal is with it, and then we got to pull the engine, which should just be 4 bolts and the throttle cable. Well, I showed you the one wheel, how the hub was all messed up. Wait till you see what they did to the other side. This is why I hate getting little crappy go-karts like this, is because a lot more headache than it looks. I didn't look it over. It's still perfectly fine. We can get it off, but look what they did to the wheel. So they completely welded on the hub. Oh, look at that thing. I mean, they gobbed up the weld, and they wasn't very good welders, or their welders sucked, because that is full of air bubbles and looks like crap. So what I'm going to do is take the bolts out of the wheel to pull the wheel off, and then if I have to, we'll take a hacksaw and cut the whole end off that axle, just a couple, a half inch or a quarter inch or so. Come on, guys, stop rigging stuff. I don't understand. They're not so expensive that you can't fix it right. I gotta go. I gotta fix this. Okay, so now you can see where they gobbledygooked that weld up and welded this hub straight onto the axle. Luckily, they only did it on the front, so you can see where it's cracking around the weld. So I'm going to take a hacksaw, and I guess I'm going to start sawing. Okay, I quit on the Rainbow go-kart for a little bit. I'm going to have to take my angle grinder and cut that hub off. Now, this is the wheels off the little red go-kart. Little bit, whatever you want to call it. You can come up with a name for it in the comments below. So I had put these bearings in and I forgot to pack it full of grease because I actually thought I was going to be able to put an Alamite in there. But there's no way I'm going to get one to thread down in there at the angle I would have to drill it. So we're just going to hand pack them as much as we can in this this area right here. Just pack them plumb full of grease, and then slide these down inside there, and then knock that bearing back in. I think all these was the same width. I'm almost positive, but either who, I'm going to pack this full of grease and get this bearing put back in. And then we can try to fix the sprocket on the little red go-kart. Okay, I'm going to use this Majestic's high temperature multi-purpose grease. And we just get a big glob on our fingers like so. And just pack it down in there as Grayson hollers for his mommy. Okay, we got those bearings put back in and the centers lubed up like a mother. So now we can put these front wheels back on the little red go-kart. And then the only thing we got to do is find out if the wheel's bent or the sprocket's bent on that rear tire, because it's awfully wobbly. I'm hoping the sprocket's just bent. We can bend it back out. Okay, now I got the back wheel taken off. There's a sprocket sitting right there. Now it has this plastic hub that sets on there and keeps the sprocket distance from the wheel. And this may have gotten like bent up. I'm not quite sure. What I'm going to do is lay it on a level surface. I mean, eyeballing it, it looks fine, but it could be all warped up. Who knows? And we're going to check this for flatness. We'll do it on one of the workbenches. As you can see, this place is a mother flipping mess. I mean, junk everywhere. As it gets like this when you got 276 projects going on. And this one, I'm just going to take a break on it for now and go ahead and get this red one running, because I haven't been able to drive hardly any go-karts except my daughter's. It's rideable, but that front end's definitely seen her days, and no brakes isn't that bad for me. I mean, I don't have no problem, but I know my daughter's dying to ride it. So after the red one, I'm going to get that one going so my daughter can at least have one to ride. That red one's way too dangerous and fast, but the rainbow one, Skittles, is should be perfect enough for her to ride. Should be safe and everything. So we're going to try to figure out what the dealio is with this hub or the rotor or the rim. Worst case, Ontario, I can flip this rim and use the other threads. The only thing that would suck is the air valve would be on the inside. But if that's what we have to do, I mean, it holds pressure just fine for now. But we'll find out what's the problem, and we'll get this mother back going. Okay, we got the wheels put back on, and the problem with this wheel, as you can tell, the motor's lined up just fine, and that wheel is cockeyed. So I seen this earlier and just forgot about it. But what has happened is the bolt and the piece of pipe, as you can see, is bent. So when that chain went in there, it kind of yanked the wheel hard enough to pull that shaft. So it basically bent right in that corner area towards the front like that. So we're going to pull that tire off and slide a piece of pipe on it and see if we can bend it back in place and check for any cracks or anything. And if so, then we can weld it. We're just getting this thing going just for the time being, to have something to do. And as you can see, where people's been pushing that brake so hard, it's bent it over, because these brakes kind of suck. And you can tell because that wheel's touching that. When that chain kicked off and went in between that sprocket, it really put a hurting on it. So yeah, it sucks, but we'll put that pipe on that and bend it back the best we can. Just keep putting the wheel back on and spinning it until we see that there's no wobbleness in it. And if we have to, we can move the motor over a little bit if it'll allow us to. I can't remember how much play was on this engine. But yeah, I'm trying to get this little booger back going because this thing is fun. Okay, I'm going to try to put this piece of pipe on this shaft right here and bend it out. It looks like it actually bent at the joint right there. So I'm going to see what we can do. And of course, this isn't going to be easy. It needs to go straight back. So let me grab a hammer to kind of help it out. I'm not sure if it's moving any, but we're going to keep trying. Looks like it is. Alright, now I'm just going to keep doing that and put the tire on and off and spinning it to make it line back up with the clutch right there. So we'll keep at this and pull the camera out when I'm done. Okay, as you can see, it lines up pretty well. The chain will give for that much, and we're spinning it there, and you can see, I mean, it's got a little wobbliness to it, but that first try really got her. So what I need to do now is put the bolt and the carter pin in the little nut down here, or in the little shaft, and then I may move the engine over just a hair, because I do think there's a little bit of play back and forth, but not much, side to side, I mean, on this engine. But I do believe that will work right there, because that's about what it was when I first started, and it did completely fine. What I may do though is down here, you can see these nuts I put under the engine to lift the engine up some, because there wasn't much chain. I couldn't adjust the chain enough to get it completely tight, so the chain was a little loose. So what I'm going to do is add another nut to that to lift it up, you know. So this is probably a 1/2 inch right there, so I'm going to lift it up a full inch so there's more adjustability on the motor. And we'll get this wheel put back on, and then, as you can remember, I put grease alamites in these rear wheels, because the front wheels I tried to, but they was at such an angle I couldn't put them in. But now we can pump these puppies full of grease and keep those bearings good. We got those front ones packed enough, I believe. I just got to put the nuts back on them. Well, they're actually on them. I just need to line them up with the holes that's drilled in these bolts. If you can see right there, there's a hole that you put the nut in on it, and the nut has a hole in it, and you put a carter pin to hold that nut from backing off. Now, you don't want these nuts just cranked down, because then you're going to be pushing against that bearing, and that little seal around that bearing, that's what keeps the grease from pushing out of the bearing. You want to keep that good. So I always put a washer and just get the bolts, the nut snug against the wheel, and then put your key in to hold it all in place. So let's get this done, and we may take it for a rip snot. It is hot down here in the south, and we got this go-kart almost done. I'm about to throw the chain on, and then we're going to take it for a spin, hopefully tonight. I'm hoping. I got to pull that other back tire off and put a washer on the inside of it so it won't eat up that seal on that bearing. And then, like I said, put carter pins in all the wheels, the wheel nuts, and then pack the rear tires full of grease, and then we'll take it for a go. I do need to still do the 18-pound valve springs in this motor. It floats the valves around 4,500. And my friends are a bunch of morons, and they can't tell. I mean, you can hear the motor start rattling. I mean, a lot of y'all probably heard valves rattling before, and that's what it sounds like to float your valves. On the valves, when you put aftermarket valves in these, or valve springs, you want to set the valve lash to 4 degrees, not 4 degrees, sorry, 0.004 with a filler gauge. And that means you're leaving 0.004 of an inch of a gap in between that push rod and that valve rocker. Now, you need that little bit of space. I mean, I've seen people say set the intake on 2 and the exhaust on 3. Sorry, my cameraman's new. Not really knowing.
My arm's hurting.
Anyways, you don't want it touching. I mean, you just don't want to tighten down that rocker to the push rod, because then, I mean, that's never good in an engine. That's going to bend the push rod or bend the valve or something. You don't want constant contact with that. So, like I said, some people say do it at 0.002 on the intake, 0.003 on the exhaust. When I built my daughter's go-kart, we did them both at 0.004, and it runs mint, actually mint cherry to be exact, and that thing couldn't run any better. It ate up that first belt. We're hoping better luck on the second belt, but there's 2 different types of belt. One is like angled on both sides. Like, here's the top of the belt, here's the bottom of the belt. One's got an angle in on each side, and one's got a flat side and an angled in one. Can't remember the 2 different names But I believe hers needs the one with the flat side, and it came with the one with the V shape to it. So we're going to see how these work and order appropriately next time. Okay, I didn't know if I mentioned these back tires have water in them. A lot of people put antifreeze in the back tires. That's to make them heavier so they'll get better traction and they won't just spin. You know, the heavier the tire, the more the motor has to pull at it and the more weight it has to move around, and you're going to get better traction. It's probably a good idea on this thing since it's got these pizza cutter tires on it. I mean, you could slice a pizza 8 different ways all day or a day with these tires. But we got some washers put on there, and now we're going to put this puppy back together for its final time and hopefully not sling it apart would be ideal. Do you want to build go-karts when you get older? No?
I will get big.
Do you want... So do you just want me to build you go-karts and you ride them?
No.
You don't want to ride go-karts? Something's not adding up. So do you want to learn how to build go-karts?
I can. When I get big, I have to cook supper. I'll cut you big.
Oh gosh. He's going to be a housewife. Okay, next I'm going to pull the motor off of this go-kart. As you can tell, it is a non-Hemi motor, so old school Predator. But of course, there's just 4 bolts and nuts you got to take off. And I'm waiting to get Carter pins and to grease those Alamites. So when my buddy gets home, I'll pull out the camera and we'll take this go-kart over there, grease those Alamites, put the Carter pins in. Stovepipe is your sister. So, I'm going to get this motor taken off, and then we'll go ahead and take the governor off, and then governor out, and then clean the carburetor. So let's get to it. Okay, the little red go-kart is completely done. The only thing, I shouldn't say completely, 95%. The only thing I got to do is lift that engine up another 1/2 inch. It's sitting on 1/2 inch nuts right now to raise it up, so I'm going to go ahead and raise it up 1 inch, and I may go ahead and make some pipe spacers for it. But to give it a little bit more tensionability, yeah, that's what we're going to go with. So all the wheels have either lock nuts or the cotter pins in it. I was bad about calling them Carter pins, and they are cotter pins with an O. But anyways, we got everything going on. I'm probably going to pull that motor over the weekend and go ahead and put the 18-pound valve springs, because it does have the, if you remember, we moved the governor, so if you hit about 4,500 RPMs, you can hear the valve start floating. A little rattling noise, by the way, if you don't know what that is. Sounds like you just got a valve rattle. But yeah, we got lock nuts on some wheels, and we got cotter pins in some wheels. That's just what we had to deal with because I didn't have enough, or some of the shafts didn't have holes already drilled, and I didn't feel like drilling them, so I just put lock nuts on them. But anyways, YouTube, I know this video kind of bounced around. I quit on the Skittles tonight because I just got aggravated at how dumb people can be. Why would you weld a hub to the axle? Don't make any sense. I hate people rigging stuff. I'm the biggest person against rigging junk. I will spend double the money if I can do it right than not rig it. That's just why do it half-ass. But yeah, I kind of jumped off it for now. I pulled the engine off as you can see, and that's not a beer can, by the way. I do not drink. That is an energy drink can. But anyways, I pulled the engine off, and I'm going to pull the governor out, clean the carburetor, and put the 18-pound valve springs in that motor, so we can, by the time the belt, and it was missing the bushing on the front, the little brass bushing on the front pulley. So when that comes in, we'll have the motor ready to go back on. We'll throw everything back on. Figure out something with the wheels. I'm probably going to have to put a different set of wheels on the back of it that has a 1-inch hole that's keyed for a 1/4 inch key. So yeah, but the red go-kart's put back together. That's been sitting around forever. My new philosophy is I'm not going to take a go-kart apart unless I got 2 running at all times. I have to have 2 running, 1 for my daughter to ride, 1 for me to ride. So yeah, I'm going to end this. It's kind of late, and gotta get in bed. Tomorrow's Friday. You'll be seeing this on Friday. And don't forget to check out the rest of my videos, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks for all the support. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm so appreciative of it. I didn't think we'd get there that fast, but we did. So hopefully, here's to many more thousands of you subscribing. Don't forget to check out the rest of my videos, and always come back to Redbeard's Garage. I'm out.